For this video, I'm just gonna show you on how I glaze this medium flower vase. I think this flower vase is about 6 inches tall. So you can see I have the Smoky Merlot, we have the Chun Plum, and then the Honey Flux. So I'm going to use the Honey Flux as the base, and then I'm going to layer it with Smoky Merlot and then Chun Plum. So the vase has already been wiped with a wet sponge to make sure that there is no dust in the piece. And you can also see my brushes in there. I have the AMACO brushes, and then my favorite ones are the cheap brushes that I got from Amazon. Here is my first layer of the honey flux. I'm just gonna show you on how I apply the first layer, and then I'm going to wait for it to dry before I am going to apply 2 more coats. So total for the inside and outside of the vase is 3 coats of honey flux. In order for me to have a consistent coverage of the piece with honey flux, I change the direction of the brush when I am going to apply for the second and the third coat. So if on the first coat I am doing it like horizontally on the piece, when I apply the second coat, I am going to do it like vertically. And same with the third coat. So I do it alternatingly. So I'm now glazing the inside of the vase, and then we're going to let it dry and then apply the second and then the third coat. So after all the 3 coats of honey flux have been dried, I'm now going to put my first coat of the Smoky Merlot. So I'm using the smallest brush that I have to apply the Smoky Merlot. So same thing, that is just the first layer, and then after it's dried, I am just going to follow the wavy pattern when I'm going to do the second and then the third coat. So a total of 3 coats has been applied for the Smoky Merlot. Now I'm ready to apply the Chun Plum. I am applying the Chun Plum just below the Smoky Merlot. So the Smoky Merlot and the Chun Plum are touching, but not like hugely overlapping each other. So again, I'm just creating a wavy pattern, and I'm gonna do that with 3 coats. So this time, while the Chun Plum is still wet, I can go ahead and apply 2 coats of Smoky Merlot below the Chun Plum. I am using a very tiny brush to put the Smoky Merlot below the Chun Plum. So if you can see, or if you're going to notice that the Chun Plum and the Smoky Merlot are not touching each other, because after firing, I really like the, the honey flux peeking in between those two colors. So it's not going to be a straight blending of all the colors. I want that cream color of the honey flux in between the Chun Plum and then the Smoky Merlot. So after the Chun Plum and then the Smoky Merlot is going to dry, I'm going to apply two more coats for the Chun Plum. So a total of three coats and one more coat for the Smoky Merlot below. So two coats of Smoky Merlot below the Chun Plum. So here is the result. The vase has been fired on cone 6 with a 7 minutes hold. So the reason why I put a gap between the Chun Plum and then the last two coats of Smoky Merlot is because I kind of like that variation. I like that little bit of the honey flux peeking in between the Smoky Merlot and then the Chun Plum. Because if you look at the upper part, it just blends in, like the whole thing, the whole honey flux was covered. Just remember though that if you're going to put the Smoky Merlot and then the Chun Plum and the other Smoky Merlot like below, if you're going to put them very thick, it's going to run and it's going to reach the bottom of your piece, especially if you're going to apply this on a shorter piece. And lastly, if you want to try this combination, please do it on a test piece first. This combination might work perfect for my base, but it might not work for you, as there are so many factors that can affect the result of a glaze. Thank you guys for watching.